What's up, teammates? Look, man, people need to just slow down and relax, okay? Just because Max Crosby said what he said on the interview, at first I was looking at other people's, depiction and how they were understanding what Max was saying, and I hadn't seen it. I heard about it before I actually saw it, so I listened to multiple comments about it before I actually decided to go into it myself. And when I go into it myself, it's like, really, this is what people got to try to do to make some business. And if you're going to do it, you can just do it from the other side. Son's still asleep, but I don't think he can hear this. He sleeps hard. If he says something, then we'll stop. Max Crosby. He didn't say I'm tired of being a Raider. He didn't say if we don't fix this, I'm leaving. He said that he's tired of the instability. He said he understands where Myles Garrett is coming from because he is going through his own situation here. And the problem that Myles Garrett is having in his situation, he can understand being in a situation where you have problems with the situation that you're in. I have problems with the situation I'm in because there's no stability in the situation I'm in. One year I have this defensive line, and I'm like, this line is fucking dope. And then the next year, they're all gone. What is he saying? He's saying that he's tired of all the changing. He wants something to be plugged in and stuck there. And let's try to build from that at that point. He's not saying I'm tired of being here, and if I don't see something, change immediately, then I'm out. He's saying he wants to see some stability, and if that doesn't come, then he's out. Which that is understandable because we all want the same thing, stability. Or at least that's what we say. That's what people are saying. There's no stability. Tired of doing what we do. Tired of having so many coaches. Tired of having so many quarterbacks. Tired of everybody changing this. But then as soon as you get a new head coach, you want change. As soon as you get a new quarterback, you want change. No one wants development. You want change. And then there's change and there's immediate gratification. If that doesn't come, then your fans are upset. And they expect another unicorn like C.J. Stroud to come into everybody's life. And there's not another C.J. Stroud out there. Although Jaden Daniels is pretty damn close this year. But people, we weren't going to get Jaden Daniels by no stretch of any imagination. So just put that down and forget about it. They're talking about things that can be done by no stretch of imagination. Let me get this notes here. J.J. McCarthy. I've heard multiple sources, professionals, talk about a J.J. McCarthy trade. Really? Really? Draft capital for someone who should have never been picked in the first round in the first place? Someone who's already hurt? We gonna trade for damaged goods that has really no proof of what it can do in a league over Aiden O'Connell? Because what? Because you're haters. There's nothing that J.J. McCarthy has done to show that he can play better football in the NFL than Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell has done a lot of things to prove that he can play football in the NFL, including almost beating the world champions twice with a team that everybody says stinks. Everybody. League round is renowned and expected to be understood that the Raiders stink and should be stepped on by everybody. Look at our record. We put Aiden O'Connell in there and we almost beat the world fucking champions. But nobody's satisfied. Why? Because everybody had their fucking foot on them. As everybody just had to say that Aiden sucks. When you ask them why, they say because there's a game where he didn't complete a pass after the first quarter. And then that's it. That's it. Oh, and we only scored 3 points against Minnesota. Or we didn't score any points, sorry, against Minnesota. But the other team only scored 3 points. But we, by the way, fumbled the ball in the red zone and missed a field goal. So, but that doesn't matter either. All that matters is you can put any negativity on Aiden O'Connell, you can. The next negativity that can been debunked that people don't care about, Aiden O'Connell's mobility. Now it's okay. I seen people hate. People can always lie to themselves. They can always say he sucks, he sucks, he sucks in their head and completely believe that for themselves. But when it comes down to spitting it out, a lot of times just spitting it right out of their mouth, it's hard for them to just say the exact opposite of the way they feel. But they will have to lament certain things. Like when I'm watching chat sports and Mitch has to lament mildly that, well, Aiden O'Connell isn't much better than Gardner Minshew. When he said Aiden O'Connell was doo-doo and should never play, and he said Gardner Minshew could be the franchise quarterback and put in the right situation, Gardner Minshew turns up doo-doo, and everybody has to lament that, okay, Aiden may be a slice better than Gardner Minshew, but so what? Doesn't matter. We have a problem at quarterback. Why is it we have a problem at quarterback instead of a problem with Gardner Minshew? Why is it that we can win games with Aiden, can't win with Gardner Minshew's all those turnovers, but we don't have a problem with, we have a problem with quarterback? It wasn't a problem with Gardner Minshew. It's a problem with our whole quarterback room. Although the only quarterback that have played out of the quarterback room for the most up to the 12th game of the season was Gardner Minshew. Aiden had one game. We almost won that one. Aiden had a second game. He got hurt. Aiden had a third game. We almost win that one. We had a fourth game, and we actually do win that one. But we have a problem at quarterback because Gardner Minshew can't stop turning the ball over. And for all those reasons, we should be trying to. And so, because people can't give all those reasons no credit, we should be trying to trade for J.J. McCarthy. Or more idiotic, in my opinion, Sam Darnold. Sam, I couldn't do it until last year. Darnold should be on our radar. Sam Darnold stunk for 3 years with the Jets before they moved on for Zach Wilson. They moved off of Sam Darnold for Zach Wilson, who couldn't beat Bo Nix for a starting job. He has one decent season. Let's say good season. 3-to-1 quarterback ratio. Touchdown to interception ratio. Over 3,000 yards passing. Over 30 touchdowns. It's a good season. We'll say it was a great season. Whatever you want to say it was. But we can only say it was a season. 1 out of 6 seasons. And now he's a franchise quarterback worth $100 million plus. How slow are people? How short are people's memory? He stank for years upon years. And now he can be the savior of the Raiders. Come on, people. You got a show. You got a voice. And that's the opinion you're going to put out there. That's the best you can come up with just because you were never an Aiden guy. Just because you're an Aiden hater, you got to find any kind of insensible capability of a situation that you can muster up to say, well, we should do anything but see how much better we can be with Aiden O'Connell for a season. Even if we win for the next 2 games. What if we win the next 2 games? A team that couldn't win because the quarterback kept turning the ball over. Not because they stunk so much as the fact that they couldn't get any offense going, their defense couldn't get any rest because their starting quarterback couldn't stop turning the ball over. And their starting quarterback was Gardner Minshew. And the Raiders had a problem with the quarterback position. Not Gardner Minshew sucks. Gardner Minshew was protected from the media the whole time. I don't know why. If you don't perform, you get torn down. Russell Wilson got torn down until he started performing. Zach Wilson gets torn down. Kirk Cousins is getting torn down. Take your pick. Go to your team. Any team who's not succeeding, they go right to the quarterback. But they have a problem with that quarterback. We have a problem at the quarterback position. Nobody can say, well, Gardner Minshew sucks and he pulled the Raiders down. And maybe they can be pulled up if Aiden O'Connell continues to perform the way he did in the Kansas City Chiefs games, which he almost won, and then the subsequent Jazz game, which he actually did win. He has one win and 3 starts. Or, yeah, because I guess if you count the start after the Steelers. So he started the Steelers. He started the second game after Steelers. He started Kansas City. He started against the Jags. So he has 4 starts this season. He got kicked out of one. He got injured in one of them. He won one of them. He almost beat the Chiefs with the other one. And then he, and then he won. So, does he only have 3 starts this season? Because he lost against the Chiefs. He lost against the Steelers. I guess the next one, if you consider it a start, it'd be a loss because he did start. But then, that's it. He's only completed 3 games. He started and finished 3 games. That's the only opportunities he's had to really go through and show what he did in 3 games. 1 game he lost against the Steelers. 1 game he almost won against the Chiefs. And then 1 game he beat the Jags. 3 starts, 3 full games, 3 complete games. He's almost 2-1. Minshew plays the whole 12 games of the season. Comes out 2-10. And you're telling me Aiden O'Connell couldn't given us a better record? You don't think we had a much better chance of winning with Aiden O'Connell? You think if we were starting Gardner Minshew right now, the never Aiden people wouldn't be sweating? You think if Gardner Minshew was in there, they'd be like, well, at least we're doing a good job watching ourselves lose. Because that's what Gardner Minshew was doing for us, and that's what was going to continue to happen as long as we started Gardner Minshew. And then y'all got Joseph Desmond Ritter. We should start Desmond Ritter for the rest of the year just because, forget Aiden, we already seen him in the 3 games that we seen him. That never Aiden people can't see the fact that those games were close losses where the other games were stomped victories. Just go back and look at the scores. Look at the tape. Look at the damn box scores. This is what we do with Aiden O'Connell. And y'all can all hate on it, but y'all can't stop and change and look at what it is and change it to be something that it's not. And he won our last game. You can say against a much worse team or a much better team or whatever you want to say the Jags are. It's a team that you're playing that Sunday. Whether you should beat them or you shouldn't beat them, you still have to beat them. We should have beaten the Atlanta Falcons, but Desmond Ritter couldn't find a way to stop giving it away. And then they freaking benched their starting quarterback after a victory against the Raiders because he's like, dude, you just barely beat Desmond Ritter and the Raiders? Get the hell out of the goddamn quarterback seat. And now we go Aiden in and whatever you want to call a team, he gets in there and gets a victory. And people want to throw him out of the quarterback seat. Whatever. But Kirk Cousins is supposed to be better. Right? Even though he won, they see his performance and they're like, it's terrible. So even though Aiden won, his performance wasn't terrible. And that's why he kept his job. Whether an easy team or not, it wasn't the victory, it was the performance in the victory. And he gets no credit for it. He wins out the next 2 games, he'll get no credit for it. He'll have go out on a 3-game winning streak on a team that was 2-10 when he got there. I mean, when he started the streak, which I guess we would have been 2-12 before he gets to ride out these last 3 games. 1 victory into it. 2 more games they got the never Aiden people sweating, right? Winning 3 after losing after only winning 2 for 14 weeks, then winning 3 in the last 5 weeks, which with a narrow loss to the Chiefs. Narrow loss. A loss in which we lost by 2 points and we left 9 points on the board. But that's not enough. It's not enough because you guys, too many people thought that Aiden was going to be trash for him to get any credit for not being trash. Because no one wants to be wrong. No one wants to say Gardner Minshew sucks. They want to say the Raiders have a problem at the quarterback position. Aiden O'Connell has had 3 starts and he's won 1. Gardner Minshew had 13 starts and won 2. But we have a problem at the quarterback position. Now, the problem with Gardner Minshew as our starting quarterback, who averaged 2.5 turnovers a game. Our problem was that we couldn't hold on to the ball, which means we keep turning the ball over, which means who's ever turning the ball over the most is having a big effect on the team. And that's Gardner Minshew, and that's why we suck so bad. If we suck so bad, how in the hell could we have almost beat the Chiefs? What changed? We lost our best wide receiver in Devontae Adams. That changed. We had more hurt linemen. That changed. But outside of that, there's no improvement. And he takes a team that's worse. Supposed to be worse, right? Considering what we lost. Considering everybody says our injuries keep bringing us down and down and down, which is true. The further you got to go down the depth chart, the worse your players are. Simple. That's just the way it was. Because if they weren't on the second team, they'd be starting somewhere else if they were that much better. But they're not. That's why they're not starting here either. That's the offense. Comes in there. 2 points lost with 1 daggone snap to lose the game at the end. And it's not enough. Instead of being celebrated for putting together a 2-minute drive in the last 2 minutes of the game, coming from, I believe it was the 5-yard line, all the way into field goal range. 1 missed snap away from victory. No credit. No credit. We have a problem at the quarterback position. We had 1 quarterback that was turning the ball 2.5 times a game. We have 1 quarterback that almost beat the Super Bowl champions and then subsequently beat the next team. But we have a problem at the quarterback position. How many turnovers does Aiden O'Connell even have? I need to look that up. He has maybe 3, maybe 2, I believe, really. I believe it's 2 interceptions. Oh, and I guess that fumble would be put on him. So maybe 3 turnovers in 3 games? With Gardner Minshew would have had us at 7? But we have a problem at the quarterback position. Not a problem with Gardner Minshew. Haters, okay? That's called hate. Okay? And let's flip it back to the front. Keep changing quarterbacks the way we are. That's a what? That's a lack of stability. If we can't get a different quarterback this year, you think Maxx is going to be pissed off if we go get somebody else somewhere else just because the team wants to go never Aiden? It's more instability. If we go get Shedeur Sanders, I'm sure everybody would feel that if there's not a sense of stability coming from that, they believe that you don't walk away from a quarterback who's the number one pick, whether he gets the job or not. They'll have the belief in if Aiden wins him out for the job, which I think he can because there's no proof that Shedeur Sanders can beat him. Yet there's no reason to believe it. There's no reason to believe that Shedeur Sanders could almost beat the NFL champions. There just really isn't. So there's really no reason to believe that just because we'll bring in a quarterback doesn't mean that he'll take Aiden's job. And then if Aiden starts, or if we don't get another quarterback, we gotta start Aiden. Because that's another form of instability. If you keep changing your head coach and you keep changing your quarterback, there's no stability there. Especially now that if we win out the rest of the season and we go out and don't get Shedeur Sanders because it's not hand in hand with the franchise, because that's the only reason I'm saying we should get Shedeur Sanders is because of Tom Brady and because of the lineage. Outside of that, I don't care. So having Shedeur Sanders in the Raiders franchise is a positive no matter how it breaks down. But that doesn't mean us going out there and getting someone to play quarterback position, because as fans, we're tired of watching Aiden win. You think that that's what the team is thinking? You think the team is like, man, I'm so tired of watching Aiden get these victories. We can't win with them, but we don't want to win. Not with Aiden. We want to win, with a better name, someone who's better looking, someone who other people said was going to be a better quarterback. Not these last 3 victories we had. We're going to throw away everything else we got because we got a quarterback who won 3 games in a row versus a quarterback who couldn't win 3 games in 13 games. But we're dissatisfied. The team's going to say we're dissatisfied? No. The team's not going to say let's throw away the rest of our future to get Shedeur Sanders. Not if Aiden wins the last 3 games out. What kind of package can they put together? And if Aiden doesn't win the last 3 games out, then it doesn't really matter. I like big butts. That means it's early. So that's what time I usually wake up and start taking the kids to school. Back to Aiden and how the lack of Aiden really is part of the lack of stability. If we bring in Shedeur Sanders and he wins the job, give him the job. If we bring in Shedeur Sanders and he doesn't win the job in the first year, that doesn't mean we force the job on him. And if he can't beat Aiden, then he can't beat Aiden because, like I said, there's no guarantee that he's going to beat Aiden. This whole mobility thing needs to be thrown out the window. Okay? Shedeur Sanders ain't that fleet of foot. He's finished out his 3 out of his last 4 seasons with negative rushing yards. Okay? That's not a scrambler. Okay? Maybe he'll do it in the pros because maybe his father was telling him don't be scrambling in college because there's no reason to almost hurt yourself in college. That's just something I have, a theory I have in my head, thinking about why Shedeur Sanders don't run. So maybe that's a part of his game that we don't know about and he hasn't showed, and that the Raiders are going to be able to benefit from if once he comes to the pros, because he's going to break it out for the money, for the pros, or just to show he's more dynamic than he's showed in college, because that could be the case also. Shedeur could be even better than we know that he is. And if that's the case, then he's better than Aiden, then we're a better team, and then I don't care. What I did care about was that we could have won if we'd have started Aiden over Minshew. That's obvious now. It's more than obvious. Even those who hate Aiden, the never Aiden haters, have come around to having to say, Mitchell Rentz, the biggest Aiden hater ever created, has had to come around and say, well, Aiden's not much better than Gardner Minshew. When he said Aiden O'Connell stinks and Gardner Minshew could be a franchise quarterback, now he has to come all the way down and lament with the biggest swallow sour stuff that he can that Aiden is a little better than Gardner Minshew. Which means, yeah, okay, fuck it, I was wrong. He's better than Gardner Minshew. A lot better than Gardner Minshew. I have no more argument left. There's nothing I can say now that it can say that Gardner Minshew is better than Aiden O'Connell. We can't say that he doesn't do much better with Aiden O'Connell in there when we almost beat the Chiefs and we get a victory when Gardner Minshew couldn't put nothing together. And now people are talking about if we should fire Antonio Pierce, what's going to happen to the rest of the coaching staff? Patrick Graham hasn't decided to extend. Not officially. Why? Is he waiting for a head coach job? Is he going to take it if he gets it? Is he going to leave if Antonio Pierce leaves? If Pierce is gone, like you people want, then Patrick Graham is probably gone. Because whoever comes in is probably not going to keep him. He's going to have his own thing he wants to set up. So now, Maxx is head coach, because as a defensive coordinator, you're basically the head coach of the defense. You're the head coach. Is gone too. Not only my team's head coach, but my own personal head coach is gone too. And now I'm in the middle of a contract struggle, and I got no guaranteed money, and anybody out there that wants to give me guaranteed money can have me. Yeah, it's going to be interesting for him. It'll be fun to see what happens. It'll be interesting to see what money comes this direction, who goes which way, and why. And that's what he's looking for. He's not looking for a plan. He's looking for stability. Losing Patrick Graham because you lost Antonio Pierce because the fans want to fire him after 1 year is lack of stability. That's not what we need. And that's what Maxx Crosby's talking about. Let's stabilize. Let's put some parts in place. Keep them there and develop them there. If Shedeur Sanders comes in and he wins out the job, let's develop him there. If we can't get Shedeur Sanders, keep Aiden there. Develop him there because he's obviously much better than people want to give him credit for. And if the people who want to say something about the mobility issue, that's also been squashed. So the silver lining to me is we got Aiden O'Connell. The other silver lining to me is if he wins out, he won his job basically because we're out of Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes unless somehow something happens to where, Deion and Tom can put their thumb on the league and force them to trade Shedeur Sanders to us or force everybody to not draft until the Raiders pick. I don't see how that can happen. But, I'm no soothsayer. But that'd be a hard one to pull off. Well, let's see. Let's wait and see. And it all starts really with Antonio Pierce and if they fire Antonio Pierce. Because that's when we see how the dominoes fall. If they fire Antonio Pierce, we'll see how Maxx feels a certain way about it. We'll see if Patrick Graham feels a certain way about it. We'll see how other players in contract years feel a certain way about it. What will change if we fire Antonio Pierce? What certain way are these players whose contract is up going to feel about it? What is Bobby Spills going to feel about it if Patrick Graham is gone? There's other players. They're the top players on our team that we want to sign back. But if AP is gone and they feel a certain way about that, how are we going to sign them back? This whole fire AP thing, people, you need to repeat. You need to rethink the trickle down. Rethink your vote. Rethink your thoughts, because you might mess around and get that firing that you're asking for and lose a whole bunch of stuff with it. We'll see. I don't think the team sees that let's get rid of AP and start over again and again. I don't think players on the team want to see let's start over and then hope that the next quarterback has a 10-win season, or else we're throwing him out too. Who's going to wait for that? That's instability. Who wants to win under that type of instability? You want to come to that type of team, perform as best you can, and look around and say that dude sucks and that dude sucks, but I think I'm going to get some money out of this year. And then travel on. That's what instability gets you. It gets you players who don't want to play. It gets you a loss of Josh Jacobs. Because if I'm Josh Jacobs, maybe I leave too. Maybe I see the instability. Maybe I see, even though we got Antonio Pierce as coach, this franchise is so unstable, they probably gonna fire him in the next year. And then if he over there in Green Bay, he like, see, I told you, just because it don't go any type of way they want to, if anything fight lose, they gonna fire him, and I'm gonna be stuck under more instability. I'm leaving. How many times can it happen before Maxx Crosby says the same thing? It's not losing, it's that on unstable ground, and I can't find a way to crawl forward because I can't get a base. So it's not I can't get a head coach. It's not I can't get an offensive coordinator. It's not I can't get a quarterback. It's I can't get one to stay. That's what he's complaining about. He doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want change. He wants everything to start staying in place, start to root down, and start to grow. And you can't grow a seed if you don't let it germinate. If we fire Antonio Pierce, we're getting a whole new seed. We got to put it in water again, try to let it germinate again. And how long are we going to wait before we decide that that's not going to be a plant either? That's instability. If we don't get Shedeur Sanders, keep Aiden where he is as a starting quarterback, create some stability. The team is not going to want to see Aiden O'Connell go 3-0 and then get pulled for just somebody that we can find, for the next anybody that we can find and put in the quarterback position because somehow the ownership wants to go never Aiden. Anyway, the silver lining is people who have more sense in making the decisions, and if we can't get Shedeur Sanders, we're keeping Aiden O'Connell. We got a better quarterback no matter what it is, because we're not going to have Gardner Minshew as quarterback next season, so we're going to have a better season. We're not going to have Patrick Graham. We're not going to have Luke Getsky as our offense coordinator, so we're going to have a better season. What are we going to do with Antonio Pierce? I don't know. And that dictates whether we have a better season or not. Are we going to get a better head coach? Or are we going to try to find some stability? What do you really want? What do you think is going to lead you to victory in the future? I know that a healthy foundation builds a good house. And if you keep repouring concrete, you're going to have to wait for it to settle again before you can build a house. How many times are you going to scrap a foundation? How many times are you going to get frustrated with the drying process before you pour another slab? Think it's going to dry faster? Develop, cultivate. So I go from concrete to seeds. I know that, but that's not the point. The point is getting it right. Staying there, hammering at it, doing the right thing, the right time, staying the course, getting it right. Developing it. Stability. That's what Max wants. That's what we need. That's what we're going to develop once we find a starting quarterback that we're comfortable with as a team, not comfortable with as a fan, as a team. Aiden O'Connell plays us out of Shedeur Sanders' sweepstakes so far back because he wins these games. Well, then, they're going to be satisfied. Haters, Aiden haters, never Aiden, they won't be satisfied. They'll be mad. They'll want something over anything. They'll want J.J. McCarthy trade or Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold. 5 years of Sam Darnold was stinking. He spent 5 years on 3 teams. Has a good years, and now he's franchise quarterback. And we should trade for him and then pay him. And that makes sense. We should give up the future of our drafts by turning out number 1 picks for people like Sam Darnold or J.J. McCarthy and see what happens. Seeing if it wasn't a fluke year for Sam Darnold, or see if J.J. McCarthy may be something because he played well in the preseason for a couple of games, which I remember another rookie doing last year, but let's not talk about that. We should give up our future for one of those two instead of going with a quarterback that we know beat the Chiefs once because he didn't turn the ball over, almost beat the Chiefs twice because what? He didn't turn the ball over, and beat the Jags last week because he didn't turn the ball over. We hold on to the ball. No, wait a minute. He did turn the ball over against the Chiefs. The point is, we win with Aiden. We have one with Minshew. If we continue to win with Aiden, I don't see why Aiden's not a good quarterback. Silver lining is we have time to see. And if he's a good quarterback, he's going to play himself into his position. If he's a bad quarterback, he's going to keep us in the Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes. So, like I said at the end of the episode, last time, silver lining is this season is back to being interesting. Get excited for the games. Have a good time. Guru out. Psych. Now, hopefully, we win these games. That's what I want to see. But you can't win them all. And the clouds get dark. But if you look outside and you're trying to see the silver lining, I'm saying that because I'm looking out the window of my hotel room. But back to it. If you're looking for the silver lining, no. If you're looking for the bright side, come to the silver lining. Guru out.